Auzubillahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Almighty, the most gracious and the most merciful. Ladies and gentlemen, we are at this point faced with hostilities at the borders of Pakistan and India. And as we know, that both neighbors are fully armed with nuclear weapons. Had there been a single mistake in the approach of the defense forces, this may result in great human catastrophe that never happened before in human history. The bomb that was used in Hiroshima and Nagasaki were 5 kilotons in weight, and the bombs that Pakistan and India has is 10 times more than that. That means a single detonation of a bomb would result in 10 times higher in casualties and effects for the years to come for the region. This will give effect not only to the targets, it will exceed to neighboring areas including Afghanistan, Nepal, all areas of India and Iran. And that effect may go into China and Central Asian republics. Is that helpful to the international community? The answer is no. The United Nations Security Council was summoned at the request of Pakistan, who is a member of the Security Council, being a non-permanent member for this year. The case of Pakistan could not proceed well. No resolution was passed. No press statement was issued. And no press statement on behalf of Pakistan's so-called unilateral approach of tested friend China was there at international forums or in the international media. China regretted the activities of the terrorist organizations. India's case was presented. Pakistan has those terrorist organizations hosted in her country, and they are all based in Pakistan, as reflective of the list of the United Nations 20 organizations based in Pakistan, with no organizational links to India. Why the organizations who are extremists and radicals from India have not been mentioned, and why China did not play a role to mention those. This is one way a statement of Pakistan, one-sided statement that China is a friend whose sweetness is more than honey, whose depth is more than sea, and who's taller than the Himalayas. Is that true? China did not say that. Actions are louder than words. We have not seen any action so far. The aircraft supplied to Pakistan, they were all on loans or paid up by Pakistan, including the JF Thunder planes. Pakistan spent $500 billion to get that technology. Whereas Pakistan has had been recipient of US arms as an aid, not loan. That is the difference between the two nations. However, Pakistan's case failed to be promoted at the international forum, and Pakistan's diplomacy failed. We did not see Pakistan's homework. We did not see Pakistani diplomats and emissaries visiting the capital of Somalia, the capital of Algeria, the other capitals who are non-permanent members of the Security Council, and they did not say anything in favor of Pakistan. Why so? Why no homework was done? why no diplomatic maneuvering was done, whereas Pakistan's case was very strong. Given the fact that India has not produced any credible evidence establishing Pakistan's role in the terrorist activity in Pahalgam, except for the fact that Pakistan's loose tongue political crooks who were brought through Form 47 have loosely said that Pakistan has been involved in terrorist activities for the past 30 years. Paid actions of Pakistan by the West and the United States. This did not help Pakistan at international forum. The Indian Deputy Chief of the Mission at the United Nations said that there is no more evidence required when there is a statement from horse's mouth. Mr. Khaja Asif and Mr. Bilawal Bhutto Zardari, let me make this very clear that your statements have damaged Pakistan's international posture at diplomatic front. And how? Do you know General Ziaul Haq played a role as the chief of the military of Pakistan to dismantle the expansionist designs of the Soviet Union, the communist ideology perpetrated into the region through use of force by the authoritarian regime of the communist parties in China and Russia. We do not adhere to those principles. Pakistan believes in democracy, freedom of speech, human rights, and rule of law. Pakistan does not believe in an authoritarian rule of the communist parties in Pakistan. And that was a common interest for which Pakistan fought alongside the United States in dismantling those ideologies. This was not terrorism. Pakistan was not involved in terrorism, nor the Pakistani generals were involved in that. This is a blame that you have put on Pakistan, where Pakistan's case was weakened by your statements. General Pervez Musharraf was pivotal in fighting 9/11 terrorist activities as a front man on world affairs. He was not involved on paid job to promote terrorism. Such statements, Mr. Khaja Asif, we all know that this is your grudge. On the removal of Pervez Musharraf, your government of Nawaz Sharif was removed, and you are showing your grudge. This is not serving Pakistan's national interest. Again, Mr. Bilawal Zardari, your grudge for your Nana, for your grandfather's prosecution at the hands of General Ziaul Haq has brought you to the point where you claim that Pakistan was involved in terrorist activities in the past. No one is going to agree with you. This is not the truth. This is not the history of Pakistan. Yes, it is the history of Pakistan. That politicians were involved in the breakup of Pakistan. They said, "Hum unki tange tod denge." Those who go to attend the National Assembly session in Dhaka, and that broke Pakistan. Those who took to the stage at the United Nations and tore the Poland resolution that was trying to save Pakistan. We know who are involved and who were the players who played a role in breaking up of Pakistan. Idhar tum, udhar hum. Who was that? Don't blame the Pakistani military junta for achieving your political motives. You people have destroyed Pakistan economically on the economic front. Look to the background history Out of $431 billion of Pakistan's external and domestic debt, 2/3 of this debt is being accumulated in the last 10-20 years by the two family dynasties of Pakistan. Is this a service to the nation? Or is this service to the nation creating awareness amongst the people of Pakistan? Please do not hoodwink the people of Pakistan. Pakistan has lost its case at the diplomatic front in the United Nations because of you. And diplomacy failed when they could not focus the international forum on Indus Water Treaty, which was signed in 1960 on the guarantees of the World Bank. Why that was not focused in the meeting? Why the whole focus on a controversial topic of terrorism, which India outplayed Pakistan? The entire session was diverted, distracted to issues that had arguments from both sides. Why the issue that has no argument against Pakistan supplying waters? And why China was not convinced to pass a message to India that the source of these waters for Jhelum River is the Chinese territory of Tibet. And China could have softly said that if you violate international law, if you dry up the lands of Pakistan by denying rights of water to Pakistan, breaking the international agreement unilaterally, which you are not supposed to, we can deny you water as well. This was enough to win the argument at the international forum. Enough message for India to be given by China. But we do understand that the Chinese-Indian trade is $120 billion on the positive side in favor of China. And with Pakistan, it's no more than $10 billion. Why would China sacrifice $120 billion to a friend of $10 billion? We understand that. Pakistan's diplomacy has tremendously failed. However, we salute the armed forces of Pakistan for playing a tremendous and courageous role in the service of Pakistan. Had they not shown the restraint, resilience in these targeted operations in Bahawalpur, Kotli and Muridke, things would have turned different, as both neighbors are nuclear armed. India attacked targeted places in Bahawalpur, Muridke and Kotli, killing innocent civilians, did not show a single trace of terrorist organizations' presence or the terrorist presence in the region in these targeted operations. There were no arms that were present there that exploded because of the explosion. No. They could not produce a single evidence to prove Pakistan's sponsorship of these activities. Pakistan yet showed the resilience and restraint and did not advance its forces into their borders or their airspace. Sitting within Pakistan, Pakistan used the technology of jamming their aircraft, and they lost at least 3, if not 5 aircrafts. And each Rafale aircraft is $100 million worth. The total loss to India, as per se, is over $300 to $400 billion in just 1 to 2 hours. Again, the share market price of Rafale has plummeted and plunged to over 2.68% in the international stock market. This is a great setback for the European arms sellers and a great advantage and benefit that that American arms have achieved. I believe Pakistan has helped the US hegemony in the region. Isn't that so? Pakistan should benefit and capitalize on the situation. However, diplomacy, as opposed to military dynamics, Pakistan is failing. Pakistan's military dynamics are on top in the region. Pakistan has proved, and Pakistan's armed forces have proved its mettle, and we are proud of the armed forces of the Pakistani nation. Pakistani Americans stand for the right cause. Having said that, we appeal to the people of Pakistan and the people of India to come to senses and stop wars. We are the same people who have had been together for thousands of years. We have a common historical background. That does not divide us to bring hostility in the region and create a situation whereby generations have to face it. Pakistan and India should come to senses, and the political motives of the leaders in winning Bihar elections or plummeting popularity in Pakistan, if this is the price, Pakistani nation and Indian nation should not pay this price for their political pundits. Pakistan and India deserves a better way of life. Same as the borders of Canada and America exist. Same as other countries exist. We should be good neighbors, supportive of each other, and help each other. And finally, I must say, وَقُلْ جَعَ الْحَقَّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. And let me translate in Urdu. और हक आ गया और बातिल मिट गया और बातिल मिटने के लिए ही था. With those words, thank you very much. Till next segment. Allah Hafiz.